Now, when it comes to the great invaders, I'm gonna take it all the way back to the beginning because it's very uh, clear on who these individuals is with the information. But we're gonna take it all the way back to the beginning to get some clarity. Now, in Genesis 15, Abraham Genesis 15 and 13, it says, "And he said unto Abraham, Know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance." So that prophecy really is a ongoing prophecy, even though it was mainly fulfilled through Egypt. But when you look at how his seed was moving, you get an understanding. Now let's go to 17. Genesis 17. Let's see. Verse 7, it says, "And I will establish my covenant between me and you," talking about Abraham, "and your seed after you in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto you and to your seed after you." So the children of Abraham had an everlasting covenant with the Lord. So let's get to who's the seed of Abraham. Genesis 25. It says, verse 1, "Then Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah." Okay. Verse 2, "She bare him Zimran, Zokshan, Median, Ishbak, and Shirah." Now these are a bunch of children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 children Keturah had of Abraham's. But look at Genesis 25 and 5. It says, "Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac." Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. Okay, let's get into the scriptures. He gave all he had unto Isaac. So who did Isaac have? Because this thing is a bloodline and it's going down the line. Same chapter, Genesis 25, getting straight to the point. He's saying, "The Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." So 2 nations came out of this Isaac. 25 is saying the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Like a hairy garment. Not that he had a hairy garment or he was hairy. He was red all over like a hairy garment from head to toe. And they called his name Esau. Okay, so Esau was the firstborn. Jacob came out holding the heel of Esau. That was significant. So Genesis 25. Esau was supplanted, meaning first he sold his birthright, then Rebecca Isaac's wife told Jacob to go and get the firstborn inheritance, even though Esau had already sold it. Look at what Isaac said to Jacob. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. Okay, so Esau heard this. Esau said in verse 28, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, meaning the richness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. You're going to rule from above. Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion or the rulership, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So Esau was going to be given a rulership, and he was going to rule with the sword. See, he was going to rule with the sword. So in Esau's rulership, let's see here. Let me get Hebrews and see, make that point with Hebrews, or back that point up. Hebrews 11 and 20. By faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. So that blessing that was given to Abraham went to Jacob and Esau. See? That blessing that went to Abraham went to Jacob and Esau. But Esau was only given a blessing until it was over. He was going to have to serve his brother. Now Jacob was given everybody going to have to serve him blessing. It wasn't told to Jacob that he was going to have to serve. Now when you go into let's see here. Yeah, let's get to Revelation. Not gonna take too long with this. Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. Talking about the red horse. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. See, only person was given a sword was Esau. And Edom means red. When you go into that situation. Okay. Then you got the pale horse. It said, now look, and behold, a pale horse. Now, first of all, skin color is the only thing that's pale. Animals, you don't see their skin. They have fur, and especially horses. You don't see their skin like that, and then nobody look at them and say, oh, it's a pale horse. No, it's talking about power, governments, kingdoms. See, this is what the horses represent. It says, and his name, see, this is a person or a nation. His name that sat on him was death, and hell followed with him. See, now that goes back to Habakkuk that was written about the Edomites. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. That says Esau was as death, and his desire was as hell. It says, verse 8 goes on to say, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So this is the evidence. Let's go get the evidence of who is these people. Now, you know what? First, let's get Obadiah. Obadiah. Let's see here. Let's just go into it. Obadiah chapter verse 4. It say, No, not verse 4, verse 5. If thieves came to thee, or robbers by night. See, these Edomites, look at verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus says the Lord concerning Edom. So this is concerning Edom. Like verse 6 say, how are the things of Esau searched out? When you look at Obadiah and Habakkuk. And here in verse 5 it say, if thieves came to you, and if robbers by night, they would probably be the Edomites. Okay, let's get Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. No, verse 8. It says, no, I'm right. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increased that which is not his. He's increasing, meaning he's getting resources that's not his. Look at verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, and all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Verse 9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. When you covet, that means you want what somebody else has. You want to take other people's stuff. You want to steal and rob. That's what you want to do. Okay, now let's go to Jeremiah, because this is 3 places where you can see what the Edomites, how they conduct themselves. Jeremiah 49:7 say, considering Edom, thus says the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is there wisdom vanished? Now Teman was what Habakkuk was written about. Teman. They're the so-called Germans, to be specific. Then Edom is the whole nation. So when you go down to verse 9, it say, if grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they had enough. Verse 10, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. This is what the Edomites want to hide. They want to hide their identity. See? Because they are thieves and robbers. They are thieves and robbers. And that's why Revelation 6, the red horse would take peace from the earth. The pale horse would kill with hunger, steal people food, dominate the food situation, and kill individuals, and rape, rob, and steal their stuff. This is the characteristics of the Edomites. Okay, now let's go to Google. Let's go to Google. Okay, let's see here. How many times America invaded countries? Oh, they want to hide it now. The last time they gave me a small summary. How many times has America invaded countries? Let's just get it right here. It says the United States has invaded or fought in 84 of the 193 countries recognized by the United Nations, and has been militarily involved with 191 of the 193 countries, a staggering 98%. There are only 3 countries America hasn't invaded. We are the mighty. So, certified history, these American so-called white men is the Edomites. They is Basra, the capital, the how would you say it? the government, the leaders, the controllers, the organizers, the dominant force, the heart of the Edomites, because they doing everything through their military. Because that great sword that was given to the red horse, it can go for military. See, he was given a great sword so he can take peace from the earth. He was given a great military so he can take peace from the earth. This is who the pale horse and the red horse is talking about. The nation of Edom. See, they was given the blessing to rule with the sword, to rule with their military. Their military was going to give them the ability to go in all nations and rape, rob, and steal their stuff. With thieves come to thee by night, and robbers, the nation of Edom. This is the whole earth we talking about. 193 countries. 98% America is in there with their military, with their sword, and they're ruling over the kings of the earth. They Babylon the Great, Revelation 17 and 18. They reign over the kings of the earth, the Edomites, through this great city Babylon with their military, with their 330 citizens supporting the military of America. And America is Basra, the capital city, supporting the kingdom, the empire state, supporting the kingdom of the Edomites. Them 10 kings in Revelation 17 is the other kings of Edomites that is being controlled by this great city America, the whore Babylon the Great, who's dealing with all these nations. All these nations is in cahoots with was in cahoots with Babylon. Now Babylon is falling, and the Lord is remembering the iniquities and the economics and the merchandise is not going home how it's supposed to go. The slaves, the souls of men, Revelation 18 and 13, is falling. They're not being employed. They can't get a so-called job and support themselves. What, 4 million people is unemployed? This is what's going on with Babylon. They are the great invaders. They are the arm of the Edomites. They are the military force, the sword of the Edomites, the globalist elites. This is who is running the kingdom of the Edomites in America. It's clear evidence through the red horse and the pale horse that the so-called white man and all his kingdoms and governments conquered, colonized the world, raped, robbed, and murdered the whole world, set up military bases, 800 military bases in the world out of the 840 military bases. That's almost 100% of the military bases on Earth. These the United States of America's government and citizens is putting military bases in all these countries in the span of 70 countries. What they say, this great horse sit on many waters, because they got military bases all over the place, and they trying to tell everybody what to do. So this is the great evidence by the great invaders, the great city Babylon, the great America, which are the great invaders. See, they do everything great because this is their rulership. This is their kingdom. 2nd Ezra 69. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau is the end of the world because he's ruling the world. Once his rulership fail and fall, like Babylon, like Egypt, like Assyria, like or the Persian Empire, like the Grecian Empire, like the Roman Empire, once they fall, then the Israelites is going to be ruling. But I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, scattered around the globe on slave ships and in captivity. Through the captivities, the kingdom of Israel is at hand. Shalom.